We are bombarded with dozens of videos and articles that often provide conflicting advice on how the resume should look like. And in this video I want to clear things up and show you from top to bottom what works and what doesn't, regardless of your experience, educational background, position or the industry you are applying for. Everything you will learn is based on successful resume examples you see throughout this video, but also Ali Abdaal's insights after reading more than 2k resumes, Austin Belzak's 125k resume research, and my own insights that help many candidates land their dream job. So let's start with the first one. What resume template should you pick? A simple, traditional, preferably one-column resume template, instead of, for example, the fancier ones you can download on the internet. Most of them look good but lack readability, and generally speaking, are not the style most recruiters at well-established companies seek for. Unless, of course, it's for a creative job like, say, a graphic designer position. Now take a look at these resume examples. Each one of them got the creator offers at big tech companies. All of them have a couple of things in common. They look basic yet professional, and above all, most of them are ATS friendly. And that's what makes them easy to read for both humans and applicant tracking systems. So this is my ATS friendly resume template. And let's start with the header section. I know some of you want to include a profile picture in the left or right top corner, but keep in mind that some countries, including the UK and US, maintain anti-discrimination and labor laws. But besides that, a simple link to your LinkedIn profile, and therefore also your picture, does the job. And even better, according to research, candidates who include a link to a professional LinkedIn profile have a 71% higher chance of landing an interview. Only 48% of resumes include such a link, so you can have an edge over others with just a simple tweak. Now let's say you apply for a software development job, then consider adding a link to your GitHub profile. Are you a copywriter? Refer the reader to your blog. Or like in my case, if I apply for a job as a recruiter, I will embed a link to my website with 240 articles and my YouTube channel with 270 videos related to recruitment. And that's how you get an unfair advantage right from the start. Okay, next one. Which section should come first, second, etc. But the better question you should ask yourself is, how can I catch and keep the reader's attention? I mean, on average, recruiters spend around 7 seconds looking at resumes before passing them on to your future manager or throwing them in the bin. Therefore, it's important to place yourself in the mind of a recruiter to get past that first screening. Take this resume example from PK, who got multiple job offers for a software engineering position at big tech companies. So PK starts with a skills section. Why? Well, that's what identifies developers. For this job in the tech industry, keywords related to your proficiency with, for example, relevant programming languages are the first thing recruiters search for, before spending time on reading all of this. Besides, it doesn't have to take a lot of space. 1, 2, max 3 sentences is fine. But it's different from someone applying for, let's say, a product manager job. Take a look at this example from Harshi, who managed to get a job at a unicorn startup. What do you think is most important here? Should she start with some hard skills like Microsoft Word or Excel? Not really. For a product manager position, and actually for most jobs, recruiters tend to search for activities that showcase experience with, like A/B testing or effective communication. Well, that's something Harshi clearly possesses. They can even check her qualities by just watching her YouTube videos. And I would highly encourage you to find your unfair advantage. Now, if you don't have any working experience, no impressive educational background, nor the possibility to upload a cover letter to elaborate your motivation, you could, for example, start with a short summary and express your drive and ambition to execute certain activities in the job description, or by showing your flexibility in regards to filling the position as soon as possible. So you basically offer them a quick and easy solution to their staffing shortage. This tends to work for less competitive jobs and is often used by recent grads or career changers. Alright, so next up I want to talk about the resume essentials. What should you write down? And let's start with the experience section. So ideally you want to start with your most recent experience, and then you go back in time. Then you add some bullet points to make it visually appealing. And so you can divide your experiences according to the PAR method, which stands for problem, action and results. Because that way you bring impact and purpose to your work experience. Same goes for using action verbs at the beginning of each sentence and quantifying your experiences. Now, I know it might be difficult to implement all of my tips, but keep in mind that most candidates don't do any of them, which gives you a huge edge over other candidates. As for the education section, keep it short, concise and to the point. So only the university name, study program, and one sentence with some relevant extracurricular activities, honors, and GPA, if it's above 3.5 at least. Now, if you're a recent graduate or still in college and you don't have a lot of relevant working experience, you can extend this section. That's perfectly fine. Now, keep in mind that if you're still in college, you include present or the anticipated graduation date. Now, there are some misconceptions that I want to address in this video, like the adversity against cliches. Let me explain what I mean. So, let's say you want to include team player. Sounds like a big cliche, unless you bring context to those words. Maybe you have demonstrable experience playing football on a high level and can showcase your football scholarship. Or what about being a fast learner? Perfectly fine if you can showcase honors and or a high GPA in your education section. You see, what's most important is your overall message. What is the impression that you want to give? And that is what you should tailor to the job description, to spark their interest and get them thinking like, hey, this person might be able to do task X, or help me with project Y. Besides, I've noticed that even employers use them in their vacancy descriptions. So if you copy and paste some of them onto your resume, it will become more ATS friendly. Another misconception is the idea that overlooking these small things is an immediate red flag. Sure, consistency and attention to detail is important, but don't overstress it. The errors that actually stick to a recruiter's mind are things like writing A instead of N, or analyze with an S instead of a Z, depending on your location. So another topic that I want to discuss is the ideal resume length. What I've seen is that almost all successful resumes are one-pagers. Only those applying for C-level positions or those who need to showcase relevant projects need a 2-page resume. I know, it's more important to focus on value-driven content than the number of pages. I get that, but we need to take the recruiter's attention span into consideration here. So for most of you, trim your resume until everything fits on one page. It's actually perfectly fine to play around with the font size, margins, and line spacing, as long as it doesn't impact the readability of your document, because you don't want the reader to lose sight of your value. Okay, next up I want to talk about actually sending your resume. Most companies allow you to upload your resume as a Word or as a PDF file. I would recommend you to pick PDF, just so you avoid any formatting issues. This can happen if the recipient is using a different version of Word. Also, don't send your resume to 10, 20 or even more companies at once. Tailor your resume to 2, 3, max 5 jobs at a time. So quality over quantity. I'm sure you will be more than busy with tailoring your job application to each vacancy, sending emails back and forth, making appointments and assessments. Now, what to do if you don't get a reply? My answer is simple. Be angry, frustrated, and discredit the company. Nah, I'm joking. It's a common thing, so don't worry. Stay positive and keep going. Just like Ali Abdal explains in his video.
The other thing is you might send one of these emails and they might not reply, but you could just send another one, and another one, and another one. You could like send 4 emails in the space of 4 months, and maybe at the right time, the right person will see that email and be like, hey, actually, let's give this person a shot.
Now, I've also heard stories about people applying to, for example, Tesla US, got rejected, and then they applied to Tesla at a different location and got hired. So the opportunities are basically limitless, as long as you keep the spirit high and improve on mistakes made in previous applications. Anyway, I hope you've learned something from this video, and let me know how your application process is going. I'm really curious. Thanks for watching and see you in my next video.